Hi guys, this is Anna from Kakibana, and today I want to share with you my story about going from a chemical engineer to an English teacher and how much happier I've become and how fulfilled I feel every single day. So my mum always told me when I was growing up, because she didn't have the opportunity to go to university, she always wanted me to study something that would guarantee a high-paying job. And I definitely thought in my mind that yes, I want to make her happy. Originally I wanted to study medicine actually, but I didn't pass a test that I needed to pass. I was a bit stuck and I didn't know what I wanted to study. And I was talking to a guy 2 years older than me, and he asked me what I enjoyed studying. And I replied that I loved maths. He said, oh, okay, so why don't you study engineering? In engineering, you're going to study a lot of maths and it definitely guarantees you a job at the end of the degree. So without thinking twice about it, I enrolled into an engineering course. Being at university was honestly the best time of my life, and I would definitely go back in a second. The engineering course itself was challenging. It was a lot of maths, a lot of physics, and all of that I absolutely loved. Taking a really difficult problem and solving it yourself was really satisfying. And because it was such a challenge, engineering, you need to have a lot of friends around you so that you can do your assignments together and not be stuck by yourself. So I made a ton of friends and we got along really well. Being at university, it was just like hanging out with my friends all the time. We went to class together, we did assignments together, and it was just really awesome because I could just hang out with my friends while mentally challenging myself by doing the engineering work. My university life was amazing and I would go back in a second and I would do it all over again. So my final year of university, I was still discovering myself and I was still yet to develop strong opinions about myself and about the world. Everyone was striving for the top jobs, which were the oil and gas companies and mining companies. Because they were doing that, I just went with the flow. I ended up getting a job in an oil and gas industry. Because this is what I wanted, because everyone else wanted it, I was really happy with that outcome. So throughout my studies, all of my friends and I, we would say, oh, what do engineers actually do in a job? And we absolutely had no idea, because a lot of the study, it was about math, so we had no idea what engineers did in their day-to-day jobs. This didn't really bother us. We just applied for these jobs anyway, and we thought, oh, well, we'll figure it out when we get there. So I started my engineering job and I was all excited and I was really nervous because it was a high-paying job, and I thought, okay, they're going to ask a lot from me. But the first year I ended up doing a lot of documents, a lot of just simple Excel spreadsheets, and just going to meetings and not knowing what was going on. And I was just doing this day in, day out. Sometimes I didn't have anything to do and I was so bored and I was just so unsatisfied because all of that mathematics, that problem solving that I'd done at university, I wasn't doing in the day-to-day job. I was just doing documents and writing up things that actually I had no idea about. People say that in these types of jobs you learn on the job, so it just comes with experience. And why had I studied 6 years at university to become a chemical engineer, to then go into a job where I had no idea? I felt helpless and not confident in what I was doing at all. I really was asking around for more exciting positions. Luckily, my prayers were answered and I was able to go into the field where I could actually see everything that was happening rather than working from the office and just imagine it in your head. I went into the field, and at the time I was really excited because it was a different position. A lot of the people in the field were very laid back, so it was really easy to work with them. We got along really well. I was learning a lot about pumps and pipes and very exciting things like that. But then I realized, I asked myself why I was there. Every time I went to the field, it was around 2 weeks at a time, which meant that I was leaving behind my boyfriend for 2 weeks at a time when he had just come to Australia to be with me. And then in the field, I needed to drive around to all of the different wells. So I was driving around a lot in a four-wheel drive. Sometimes there were very hazardous conditions because of the weather. It was raining or there was a storm, and there were a couple of times that I would get stuck. And in those occasions, I burst out crying and I didn't know what to do because I was so scared, and I had to get people to come and save me. So that was kind of embarrassing and I didn't feel good about that. In the end, I was still doing the documentation about pumps and pipes that honestly I wasn't really passionate about. So after a day in the field, I just suddenly had a realization. I said, what am I doing here? Am I happy? Why am I crying? Why am I bored? Why am I doing this to myself? Let's analyze what I really want in life, because at the end of the day, life is short. And for the first time in my life, the phrase of money can't buy happiness really struck a chord with me, because yes, I was earning six-figure salary, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't really enjoying my life. So I said, what do I really want in my life and what can I do? Always at university, I had thought about teaching and studying education because I had experience in tutoring people in maths, in Japanese, in English. I really enjoyed it, and I got a lot of praise from my students as well. I knew that in the future, I would become a teacher eventually. But like many other countries in the world, being a teacher in Australia doesn't get you the best salary. I was also into languages and cultures and traveling the world. So I thought about it and I said, okay, how can I combine these things together? So I came up with the answer, teaching English overseas. So when I quit my job as an engineer, I felt really relieved. And yes, maybe my mum was a little bit upset about how I'd quit my high-paying job, but I think in the end she was able to understand that it was my life and I was able to choose my path. I went to Colombia for 1 year to teach English, and now I'm still teaching English in Australia to foreign adults. What I really realized from this 2 years is that teaching and education is such a simple but important job. It's a very proactive job because it tries to prevent problems from happening in the first place by educating people. So with teaching, all you need really is a pen and paper. It's such a humble job because you really connect with people on a day-to-day basis with no judgment whatsoever. So my year in Colombia, it was so rewarding. I was teaching children from the ages of 10 to 17. Every day I would get people saying thank you. I would walk around the school and everyone would say hello to me. I felt confident in my job because I knew what I was teaching and I knew what I was doing. I was getting positive feedback from the students, I was getting hugs, and I just felt so good. And although I was teaching English, it was not only the language that I was teaching, I was also teaching culture, things about the environment, recycling, and I was able to convey that because it was an English class, so you can basically teach anything and it's going to help them with their English. I was able to make a difference in people's lives in that way as well. I was able to make genuine friends with students even though they were a lot younger than me, because we were really connecting as people and just talking about whatever we wanted to talk about. And that is exactly the same here in Australia when I'm teaching the adults. We are connecting on a personal level and having fun every single day. This week, for example, in class, we burst out laughing 5 or 6 times during class. It's such a fun job and you can help them in their life to become better people themselves. People treat me with the utmost respect because they respect my knowledge and know that I will be able to give them something with no judgment whatsoever. You're probably wondering, well, I spent 6 years of my life at university. Do I regret studying engineering? Not at all. Actually, what engineering degree teaches you is a problem-solving skill. So you see a problem and know that there is a solution for it, and you work hard no matter what to solve that problem. And a problem-solving skill can be transferable to many different careers. Plus, as I said before, the days of my university, I wouldn't have been able to connect with my other friends so much if I hadn't studied such a difficult degree such as engineering. Working 2 years in my engineering company really taught me a lot about myself and about life in general. As I said, it really taught me about money doesn't buy happiness, because at the moment my salary is much lower and I'm still so happy and I feel that I have more to give, because not just money but just me personally, I'm happier, I'm more fulfilled, so I'm able to offer more and be a positive person and a positive influence on my students and the people around me. And I'm happy to have had that experience as well, so that I can share it with more people like you guys. So I hope you liked hearing about my story. Let me know down in the comments below, what situation are you in? What is stopping you from going to your dream job? So don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to my channel so you can hear more about my experience of being an English teacher, traveling the world and learning languages. Alright guys, so I'll see you next time. Bye!